Ahoy there, explorers! Welcome back to School Subjects Online, where we dive into fascinating what-if questions about history, science, and discovery. Today we're navigating a big question. What if the compass had never been invented? How would sailors and explorers have navigated the oceans? Hoist the sails and let's find out. So imagine a world without that trusty compass. How would sailors find their way? Well, for millennia, humans have looked to the heavens for guidance. Long before the compass, sailors would rely on celestial navigation, using the stars as their guide. The stars, just like our sun, rise in the east and set in the west, following predictable paths across the night sky. The most important star for navigation? Polaris, the North Star. Polaris sits almost directly above the Earth's North Pole. This means that no matter where you are in the northern hemisphere, if you can find Polaris, you know which way is north. Sailors would use tools like the astrolabe and later the sextant to measure the angle between the horizon and a specific star, like Polaris. By comparing this angle to charts and tables, they could determine their latitude, their position north or south of the equator. But what happens when clouds obscure the stars? Or during the day? That's when things get trickier. When the stars were hidden, sailors turned to our nearest star for guidance, the sun. The sun rises in the east, travels across the sky, and sets in the west. Its position throughout the day can still provide valuable directional clues. By observing the sun's arc, sailors could get a general sense of east and west. They knew that the sun reaches its highest point around midday, and that point would roughly correspond to south. But using the sun for navigation had its limitations. Cloudy days could make it impossible to track the sun's position. So, if the stars were hidden and the sun was playing hide-and-seek, what did sailors do? They learned to read the environment around them, becoming attuned to the subtle language of the wind and waves. Experienced sailors could tell a lot about their location and potential hazards by observing wind patterns. They knew that certain winds blew consistently in particular directions, especially over large bodies of water. The ocean itself also held valuable clues. Sailors learned to recognize patterns in ocean currents, water temperature, and even the types of seaweed floating on the surface. Using the feel of the wind and the movement of the water to navigate required incredible skill and intuition. For centuries, sailors relied on celestial cues and their knowledge of the sea, but navigating vast oceans remained a daunting challenge. Then, around the 2nd century BC, a revolutionary invention emerged in ancient China: the compass. The earliest versions consisted of a lodestone, a naturally magnetized piece of iron ore, suspended on a board or floating in a bowl of water. The lodestone, naturally aligned with the Earth's magnetic field, would consistently point north. This simple yet ingenious device was a game-changer. For the first time, sailors had a reliable way to determine direction, regardless of the weather or time of day. The compass offered newfound freedom and confidence to venture farther from shore. Word of this incredible invention slowly spread westward, eventually reaching Europe in the 12th century. The arrival of the compass in Europe ignited a spark that would forever change the course of history. It ushered in the Age of Exploration, a period of unprecedented maritime exploration and discovery. Armed with this newfound navigational tool, intrepid explorers set sail from Europe's shores, eager to chart unknown waters and reach distant lands. The compass emboldened them to venture beyond the familiar landmarks of the European coastline and into the vast expanse of the Atlantic Ocean. Think about Christopher Columbus's daring voyage across the Atlantic in 1492. He relied heavily on his compass to maintain course and navigate the open ocean for months on end. Without it, his journey, and the subsequent discovery of the Americas, might never have happened. Explorers like Vasco da Gama and Ferdinand Magellan also relied on the compass to guide their journeys. The humble compass, born from a simple observation about magnetism, had a profound and lasting impact on human history. But its story doesn't end with the Age of Exploration. Think about the navigation systems we rely on in the 21st century. Our smartphones, our cars, they all use GPS, a global positioning system that relies on a network of satellites orbiting Earth. GPS might seem light years away from that early Chinese compass, but the underlying principle is the same. Just like the compass needle pointed north, allowing sailors to orient themselves, GPS uses signals from satellites to pinpoint our location on Earth. So the next time you pull out your phone to navigate, Remember the ancient mariners who relied on the stars and the sea to find their way? And marvel at how far we've come, building upon those early discoveries to create the sophisticated navigation systems we use today. So what if the compass had never been invented? Our world might look very different with fewer discoveries and slower progress in exploration. It's a great reminder of how one small invention can change the course of history. Here's a challenge for you. If you couldn't use a compass or GPS, how would you navigate? Share your creative ideas in the comments below. Thanks for sailing through this exciting question with us. If you enjoyed this adventure, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe to School Subjects Online for more fun and thought-provoking topics.